Hi everyone, it's Miss Withers again here, bringing you your third geography lesson of this lockdown time, unfortunately. So we are looking at diversity in India today. Navigate, or it wasn't too hard to do, but if there is anything that was a bit hard or that I said that didn't make sense or anything, can you please let me know so I can improve how I'm doing these over the next few weeks. Okay, so diversity in India. We are looking at the term diversity. We're going to have a look at some of the cultures found in India, and we're going to have a look at the extent to which India is a diverse country on different levels and from different aspects. Okay, as before, all of the work for this lesson can you please either do on a PowerPoint or a Word document and submit it through Teams or ePraise, and if you can't do it through that, just email me directly. As I said before, even if I'm not your geography teacher, please just email me the work, because that's how we're keeping track of things. There will also be a quiz at the end of this as well, like the one you did on the last lesson, just a quick 10-question quiz just to test your knowledge on how you did for this lesson and what you kind of retained in your head, and that'll give us an idea of how these are going, how you guys are doing, and we get to record those scores as well, like an assessment, so we can see those through the form you do them on. Okay, so make sure you get that quiz done afterwards as well. I'll put the link for it on where I set the work on ePraise and Teams anyway. Okay, so let's have a look. First thing I want you to do is look for me, pause this video after I've explained this, and find the definition for me for the word diverse. What is diverse? What does diverse mean? What is diversity? Have a look at that for me and write it down on your PowerPoint or your Word document. So, sorry, that's me going backwards. Okay, so task 2. What differences can we see in these pictures? So we're thinking about how diverse India actually is. So on the next 2 slides, we've got a series of pictures that I want you to have a look at and think about what kind of different ways they represent the diversity in India. Okay, so you've got the top picture there, you've got all the people hanging off the side of the train. Think about where they might be going, what they might be doing, have a look at what they're wearing, the kind of expressions on their faces. Do you think they're happy? Do you think they want to be in that situation? Have a think about it. And then the bottom picture, do exactly the same. So again, think of what they're doing, what they look like, what they're wearing, how they come across, and compare those 2 images for me. So for this, I want you to write down your thoughts about the similarities and differences in those pictures. So what's the same? What could be contrasted or different about each one as well? You can go ahead and write that down for me on your Word document or PowerPoint. If you need some sentence starters, I've included them there on the bullet points. So you've got the top picture shows diversity from the bottom picture as, and then explain it, or the bottom picture shows diversity because. You could also put the top picture shows diversity because and explain it out for me. So for instance, you could say the top picture shows diversity from the bottom picture because the people in the top picture, it looks quite crowded, it looks quite, maybe they're coming from maybe a poorer area from what they're wearing, whereas the bottom picture, it looks quite wealthy, they're drinking maybe champagne, it looks quite affluent. Okay, so write those down on your Word document or PowerPoint for me, and then we're going to do exactly the same for the next slide as well. So pause it here if you need to, if you need a little bit more time, but I'm going to move on to the next slide now. Okay, so same thing, but we're thinking of it more from a physical geography side. So the last one we're looking at human geography, we're looking at the people of India. Now we're going to be looking at the physical geography side of things. So these pictures are both from different areas of India, but again, I want you to think about the similarities, the differences, if there is any, and write that down again for me. So have a look at that top picture where we've got kind of a foresty, rainforest area, and then that bottom picture where it's more desert, a drier climate maybe, whereas you might have maybe more wetter climate in the top picture. Have a think about those things for me. And again, write it down on your Word document or PowerPoint. Again, pause it here if you need any more time, but I will be moving on to the next slide in a second. Okay, so this is your main task for this lesson. So this is task 3. And again, you're going to be doing some research for me. So using your computers, you're going to be researching diversity in India. Okay, so we put some possible topics that you could include there. So I need you to find a picture for each topic and then explain how it shows diversity in underneath that. Okay, so write a short paragraph explaining ways you think the diversity is good for India, or maybe that it's bad for India, according to the images that you find. So I've put an example down here of one in the blue. So I've done religion here and diversity in religion in India. So I've put these two images show the diversity of religion in India. The top picture shows Indian Christians holding up a cross in a protest, whereas the bottom picture shows us Indian Hindus during a festival. India has many different religions, some that started there and some that are coming from other countries over the years. Overall, I think this is good for India as it helps to show and understand other cultures from around the world and for people to be more accepting of them. Okay, so you can use the same format as me if you want to, but I want you to do that with those pictures and an explanation for each of those topics there. So physical geography of India, wealth or poverty in India, culture and languages, religion, and then ideas of your own. Okay, so you could come up with any idea of your own if you can as well. I've put a video underneath as well, which I'll link underneath the video on the YouTube channel, which is just a video kind of overview of diversity in India as well. It can give you some more images and some more ideas. Remember, guys, just another thing, if you're Googling things, to be smart in the way you are Googling things. Don't put a whole load of chunk of text into Google, because you won't get the results you need. So use keywords only. So say, for instance, you were Googling diversity in India with religion. Don't write into Google, how is India diverse in terms of religion for these religions, yada, 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 into Google. Just put religious diversity India into Google and you'll get exactly what you need. It just simplifies it, makes it a lot easier for Google to understand it as well. So just make sure you're doing that if you're Googling lots of things. Okay, so I'm going to leave you get on with that one. Pause me again here so you can start doing that, and again put it on your Word document or PowerPoint for me. Okay, last bit. So you should have spent maybe like 20 to 25 minutes on the last task, but this is the last one we're going to do now. So what I want you to do is give it a guess. On these numbers we've got at the bottom, which one do you think they'll be filling into? Okay, so blank billion people can't get clean, safe water. Blank billion people don't have toilets. See which one of those numbers you think would fit into those gaps. Okay, and write them out for me. So it's a complete guess. You don't have to, maybe you could Google it if you want to, but just give it a guess in the first instance. So you could maybe see what your thoughts would have been beforehand, and some of them might be quite shocking to you when we go through the answers. Okay, so pause here and do those ones for me, and we'll go through the answers in a second. Okay, last bit, this is the answers. So we've got 1.4 billion people can't get access to safe, clean water in India. 3 billion people don't have toilets. So this isn't in India, this is around the world. Tonight, around 100 million people will sleep outside as they have no homes or shelter. Tonight, over 800 million people will go to bed hungry, and every 3.6 seconds someone dies of hunger. Okay, so some pretty shocking statistics there, just something to leave you to think about. So around the world, these things are happening all the time. It's not just in India, it's not just in countries that you might think are poorer. These kind of things happen in the UK as well. So it is just a little bit of food for thought for you to think about this evening, especially when we're going through things that we are at the moment. Things could be a lot worse as well. So we can consider ourselves very lucky that we don't have to be dealing with these kind of things as on top of the current situation we're in. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed this lesson. As I said, please submit your work to me on Teams or ePraise through your Word document or your PowerPoint, or if you can't do that, email me directly, and make sure you do the quiz on Microsoft Forms after you finish the lesson. Okay, but that's it for me for now. You'll have a new lesson next week, and it'll be the same format again, me talking over the PowerPoint, you having a set of tasks to do, and then a quiz to do afterwards. Take care everyone, thank you.